We remain sincerely concerned about what's going on Ground Zero, and we intend to using this live show to uncover a lot of revelations and to let us all know the exact place where we stand and those that must be taken out of the revolution urgently. It is my very singular honor to let you all know that no matter what happens, we cannot assume that despite all the allegations that a lot of people on Ground Zero and in the diaspora have, placed on the young and very determined fighter, the very famous General IVO, I want to say that, to say the least, it would be inconsequential to deny the fact that his death is not a loss to the Ambazonian people. No matter the way we look at it, we might want to gather a kind of revengeful spirit from the incident in Guzang, but I want to say that there is more to everything that is happening. And God has always given the opportunity for us to set the record straight. Like we said on this platform in our last edition, that indeed the issue in Guzang was kind of the handwriting on the wall and was indeed from God. Like I said on this platform the last couple of days ago, that Guzang, the incident in Guzang, was a sign of victory and was the end of any form of distraction, any kind of manipulation from the diaspora. And just yet, before we could finish talking about it, the mothers from Guzang and other neighboring villages were praying, and this is exactly what has happened. I want to let us know that we might look at it anyway, but we have lost a great general. I will tell us a lot of things tonight, or for those of you on Ground Zero, it's night already, and today, for those of you watching here in the diaspora, to let you all know, please, when you join, you share extensively, to let you all know that every life matters. Everybody that dies, as a matter of fact, in Southern Cameroon, it's a plus to La République du Cameroon, and it's a minus to us. And this is a time where everybody must go back to the drawing board and try to set the record right. And we have to talk to ourselves without being hypocritical. I want to categorically say that the death of General IVO would only leave one message for those who care to retain. And we cannot take our own finest soldiers and offer them to La République at a platter of gold because of some issues that we don't want to define at the moment, that will be defined in the course of this program. I must sincerely say that it is pathetic, to say the least. We cannot deny the obvious kind of manipulation that has been going on, and to tell you how much the fight on Ground Zero has shifted to an issue of groups instead of the defense for motherland. I must tell you, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Ambazonians, as Eric Tato, I don't have the mandate to decide what happens in Ambazonia. Neither has any one individual. It is only our collective resolve. A few days ago, if not mistaken, probably only yesterday or so, I deliberately, consciously, with all of my heart, spirit, and soul, posted a write-up from our hero, one of our heroes, Mark Barita, who said categorically that nobody can stop the war, can break our resolve. And I consider that as the finest post for 2018, the best revolutionary post, because it would appear to us that we have still not realized that. And that is why we have people who have assumed, you know, the essential self-responsibility of thinking that they have control over the Amazonian people, of hoping that someday we might all begin to listen to them, but why they would refuse listening to us. I think the death of General IVO, amongst many other generals that a lot of you don't know who have died, whose names I'm going to be reading today, would send a strong and clear message to the people who have taken power and ego, who have refused to move out of the cocoon of inferiority complex, jealousy, envy, and self-aggrandizement, who think that because they were here before everybody, it must remain the way they want it. Like we said, that Guzang was the last for anybody who cares to be a leader. And we will not forget that we would all must pay allegiance or pay homage or tributes to General IVO, who was one of our finest. Probably not the finest, but one of our finest. One of our bravest soldiers, who was given out to La République du Cameroon like a chick or chicken, if you want. A man who has given himself a pride of place, who fought for the Amazonian people, who was concerned about Boya before revolutionary politics changed him into a bootlicker. IVO was a great fighter. For those of you who don't know, IVO is one amongst the many Amazonian generals who sacrificed everything. IVO sacrificed his job, his life, his family. IVO did everything to ensure that he defended Amazonia. IVO was unbeatable. IVO was indeed somebody who could not be penetrated by bullets. But because of our selfishness, because of our desire to destroy the revolution, we put our personal egos above a fight for the liberation of homeland. We have activists who have moved from one conspiracy theory to another. We have activists who are making up stories in order to ensure that the fight is not pushed to a particular direction. Personally, as Eric Tato, I am not a saint. I will never be. I have never said I'm one. And I have my personal issues with the entire AGC, the ADF, and even General IVO. And like we have always said on this platform, it is necessary for the Amazonian people to talk to themselves. It will be the craziest thing on earth for us to deny the fact that in one way or the other we have not preached hate speeches against that great guy who has fallen today. We have all poured out insults on that great soldier, but this is the time to pay him tribute. He fought a good fight, but he was manipulated by a gang, a cartel of what I cannot describe. He was manipulated by activists who have lost the rear, who are out of focus, and who are not danger to the revolution. IVO was fighting for the people of Southern Cameroon before he was unparalleled, kind of like confused and corrupted by the likes of the people you know. Now, for those of you who don't know, IVO was a soldier. He abandoned his job as a soldier in La République du Cameroun. He's a young man who came to Bamenda, to the northwest, to Batibo, and he decided to fight for his people. Ask yourself that when the fight started, we didn't know of General IVO, but he only emerged. And we didn't speak bad of each other. We supported the consortium at the time. We supported everybody. And I just want to make this point very clear to a lot of people, especially some people from the agency who would come out here with fake profiles to think I want to pretend about the situation. For one thing about me is that when IVO was first killed, when I got the news, I asked that please check on the official Facebook page of the Cameroon Army and see if they have posted General IVO's corpse. They check, and many hours they have not posted, but some of our compatriots have posted. You know, the issue is this. I cannot pretend about the fact that my indifference on the issue can never outweigh my concern for homeland. Let me tell you something that you didn't know. And I will now want to bring it out straight here to you all. It will be a terrible mistake if I refuse to say that I feel terrible about his death, in which case it should be as a very sustainable point for us to move forward. We have said it before that Guzang was the end of infiltrators, was the end of Moors. Guzang was the end of anybody who wants to mortgage the future of our fighters. It is undoubtedly a very sad situation. IVO is somebody's father, somebody's brother, somebody's caretaker. And while they die in their numbers, we have people who sit in the comfort of their homes in the diaspora and they keep on punching the keyboards. I want to say it here and now, and I'll say it again, that today is a day of reckoning like Guzang was. And whether or not some of you believe it, we have some of our compatriots that have been compromised. We want to thank the likes of Mark Barita, Ashu Kinsley, Kemi Ashu, and every other single one of us that is mourning at this juncture that this great hero has fallen. IVO was not an ordinary fighter. He was feared, respected, and nobody can deny that even if we say IVO wasn't fighting La République, or even when we say he was an agent of La République, he was still an asset by the very fact that he is existing, or he existed. I want to go straight to let you know that IVO was sold out by us, Ambazonians, because of his determination to denounce the truth and the evil of his masters and other Ambazonians alike. IVO was killed in Kumba, and he was set up. And when I said that IVO wasn't killed by La République du Cameroun, and that the celebration from the bees is undeserved, it means that IVO wasn't killed in battle. There was no fighting where IVO was killed. IVO was simply sold out, and he was killed like a chicken. For those of you who care to know, IVO has worked in the far north region of Cameroon at the time. IVO was precisely in Kolofata, in the Kolofata area, where he served with the military during the time of Boko Haram, in one of the camps called, I want to make sure I get the spelling correctly, Lamani. Lamani is spelled Lamani. I'm sure the La Republic soldiers or Ministry of Defense will be doubting how I got this information. So IVO fought in the far north with the bees, and then he took a leave, excuse and permission, a leave of absence, and came to southern Cameroon at the time when the crisis started and decided to join the Ambazonian to fight for the liberation of homeland. There are many other soldiers that have defected that have not shown their face. But IVO was once with the soldiers of La République du Cameroun before he came over to join us to fight as a team. Now, you want to ask our brothers of the ADF that where is General, or at the time he was not a general, Fiango, they call him Fiango. That was the person who brought IVO into this business of fighting for Ambazonia. Fiango, or as is known, Brenadex. Where is Fiango? Fiango was ambushed, picked up like a fowl, the same way IVO has been picked up somewhere in the northwest in Bamenda, shot in the leg and carried away by soldiers loyal to Mr. Biya until date, until we speak. We don't know Fiango's whereabouts. Benji was also picked up, rounded up in Nigeria along some other boys, about 8 of them. What about other soldiers who were obviously in the AMF WhatsApp group? I'm talking about Zaza. What about Honorable? Those are fighters whose specific locations have been sold out, and even when they are right in areas like Douala, they are being picked up. The fighters are caught along Tiko Douala Road simply in the bus, going about their personal businesses. We have seen all of those things. I want to tell you that enough is enough. For those of you who care to know, General IVO was on his way to see one of his friends. And IVO was actually meeting with, as we hear and which is confirmed, with one of his girlfriends, or his girlfriend. Let me not put one off like he was not humanizing, as a matter of fact, which is a normal thing. And while he was going there, information was leaked to the Cameroonian soldiers. And they went there, they picked IVO without resistance. IVO was neutralized because we sold IVO out. IVO did not die in battle like some of our lying compatriots have posted, because they cannot stand the fact that they are betraying the revolution. IVO was killed, and the big, in quote, the commander of the B in the Meme area asked that IVO's corpse should be brought. Now, let me tell you something. When a leader of a group is compromised, the soldiers, like the Republic soldiers who went to where they killed IVO, they will celebrate, but it's undeserved, because according to them, they will be thinking that they have killed IVO, but at the top, their bosses know the arrangement they are making with the bosses of the other camp. Now, I want to be clear with you guys, and to be clear with all of you, that this is the time when we have to put everybody on the X-ray and let all of us know for sure that Southern Cameroon is the property of the 10 million people. It is not the property of any of you here on social media who are going after our fighters, after our finest. You are killing them with your pride, with the fact that you have been compromised. You're killing them with your egos. Now, let me be clear with all of you that the death of General IVO is a big and a clear point of correction to anybody, and for all of you to know that we know what's going on. I will address one leader, one activist after the other in this live show. For us to be able to have things straight, today we can all wear black shirts to mourn General IVO. But I will start this with this particular clip. I want us to listen to this. That's tribute to General IVO.
The general want to talk to the people in
The biggest number. I will never leave my journey happy. Oh, till I leave, I will never leave my
Thank you so much. That is General IVO. This video was shot many months before it actually appeared on social media, where the fighters were fighters, where they were committed to the cause of going to Buea. But all of us, probably including myself, everybody, all of us in the diaspora, we transformed the good intentions of all these fighters into some stupid politics. When IVO, you heard them all singing in this particular event, where they were happy with the population. What happened? The likes of all of you, from the Cho Ayabas, the Bo Herberts, the Akwangas, the Bells, everybody, you transform the Chris Anus, you transform it to politics, and now IVO left with his fighters from singing until we reach Buea. They started singing, we will never leave our journey halfway, and they changed the music into we will never leave AYABA halfway until we reach Buea. That has been the problem that is trying to destroy this revolution. And we have listened to everybody. We have cried that there is need for unity. But Mark Barata has said one thing that I have written down in my mind, that I have posted to keep it for posterity, that when we have independence, I will show you people in Buea that, did you see what Mark wrote? That nobody can destroy our resolve. No one of us can ever destroy our resolve. Mark, thank you for that. Now, I want you to listen to this other audio from Bo Herbert. I want us to listen. I want us to listen to this other audio from Bo Herbert. If you join, you share. Let's bring every ambassador on board. I want us to listen very attentively. Some of you must have listened to it, but I want you to listen. It's very important. This other audio from Bo Herbert.
Hello, my name is Ndumfoin Bo Herbert. People of Ambazonia, this is my wake-up call to you. Please, wake up from the divisions. Wake up and shame these divisions. There is no group, no individual, no leader that is bigger or mightier than Mother Ambazonia in this struggle. It doesn't matter who they are called, whether they are called the IG, Morris, the AGC, the consortium, whether their names are Siseko Ayuktabe, Fongoji Dinka, Dr. Akwanga, or Dr. Ayaba. None of them and none of their movements is more important than Mother Ambazonia. And so I ask you, wake up and take over your revolution. Do so by insisting that all of these individuals and groups are...
That is Bo Herbert. I'll play another. I'll continue I'll continue because he's calling for unity. But listen to what he's saying. Why he's calling for unity.
You will build an Ambazonia that is beautiful with blind people. If you turn to a bullet for a bullet, one person dead for another one dead, you will build an Ambazonia of cemeteries. And so I ask you, wake up and pray to your God. Wake up and meditate. Wake up and value love and value forgiveness. And go to God now for strength and for wisdom to do the right thing at this very dark hour for our people. And the right thing is for you to go out there and take back your revolution. Take back your revolution by denying support to any and all leaders. Don't worry who you support right now. Deny them support until they can come together on a collaborative platform, until they can build a transparent, accountable treasury that manages this revolution on behalf of our people, until they can give us a roadmap on how to move our revolution to recognition. Deny support to all of them. If you don't, you will be funding the effort of small wars and feuds that will only slaughter our people on the ground. Finally, I ask of you, wake up and realize that while you fight, while you have one war against La Republique, there are several wars among Ambazonians. The ASC is fighting the AGC or the ADF. SOCADEF is being battled by other groups. The AMF is fighting other groups. The Red Dragons are being tackled by other groups. People are fighting for territory. They're killing and slaughtering each other. The Momo cartel that we just saw in display against the ADF is something that we should absolutely make sure is the very last time that it happens. And so, my people, I ask you.
The Momo cartel. This is what I want us to listen. And I think one of our major problems is being these old people like Bo Herbert. I have no respect for people like this, that when they kill people, you see somebody that is calling for unity and that is aware of what has happened in Batibo or in Guzang, he still comes and says the Momo cartel against the ADF. And you want people to unite. It just shows how hypocritical people like this are. These are people who are crying about how they are killing our boys, our soldiers, our finest. And yet, you do an audio, a fine audio, that you're supposed to call for unity. You're supposed to show remorse. You're supposed to be objective. You're supposed to condemn. Who are those who are involved? I heard that he later condemned something by writing. But this one speaks volume. And then you're here, you still, Bo Herbert, you still come to blame the Momo people. You call them Momo cartel because you only want to defend the AGC. You want to defend Cho Ayaba. That has been our problem for a long time. A man, an old man who calls himself journalist. This is the highest insectivorous agent in our midst, Bo Herbert. Bo Herbert is a person that has set the highest level of confusion because of his desire that when they started this Ambazonian stuff, he would be the president. He was angry that Seseko became president. He's angry that Maurice failed. And in order for him to contain himself, he created a very racist and bigot, a sadistic a kind of program called Ambazonia Calling or Cameroon Calling, where he was targeting the IG. This is somebody talking about division, about unity. The first person, when I apologized, the first person that I called, I'm on Bo Herbert now. The first person that I called and said, sir, you are a figure in this thing. Let's see how we can reach out to other persons. Bo Herbert said this, when this, and we agreed. The next day he was producing Ambazonia Calling and being even more divisive than ever. Bo Herbert, you start an audio. If you were a true father, you would have started your audio by apologizing, by calling their names. Do it in a more scientific and methodological way, a very great way, by saying that, you know, we are sorry, Mola Sako. Call them together. You will not be calling for unity, and you are insulting Momo cartel. The same Momo cartel that the ADF has been using. The same Momo cartel that you have amateurs in the name of reporters on Cameroon Calling or Ambazonia Calling are using. I have told you people that Guzang was going to expose everybody. And all these leaders, after today, you people will know where you stand, because the Ambazonian people will decide on your case. That is Bo Herbert. Bo Herbert says he doesn't recognize the IG. But when Professor Lumumba came here, Professor Lumumba was there. Bo Herbert did not care to talk about the event other in Ambazonia Calling. He didn't care to send reporters to interview one of the finest, in fact, the finest activists and lawyers in Africa and even beyond, the finest human rights crusader. He didn't care. He condemned the IG, but that event was covered exclusively by National Telegraph. Even the Southern Cameroon Broadcasting Corporation, SCBC, that took the images, wrote there like a professional TV station. SCBC wrote that courtesy National Telegraph. But what did Bo Herbert do? He condemns the IG, he talks against the IG, but in one of his strongest slots or kind of jingles in Ambazonia calling is Prophet Lumumba's voice. They will sooner realize Bo Herbert told that is piracy, because you can't take from our war what we didn't give you, and add to that you are discrediting the same IG that actually brought Professor Lumumba, that was organizing the event for Professor Lumumba. You don't want to see them, but you want to take their products. So I want to tell you that Bo Herbert, come out as a man, come and apologize for the wrong things you have done to the Ambazonian people before you start talking unity. Bring down yourself and come and don't instruct Ambazonian people what to do. You don't have a legitimacy to tell us, Ambazonian people, what to do, because we don't recognize you as anything based on the fact that you have been totally divisive. These are boys that have been killed. They are butchered every day. You know what happened? The mothers in Guzang and the other surrounding villages 2 days ago, yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, they came out, they washed their nakedness, washed their linen, and then they pour it, and they said this, that if this thing happened in Guzang, if this person did not do this, this should happen. These are things that we should have avoided by coming out and condemning the ADF for doing whatever they did. Look, it's a pity that I'm going to bring General Commando, but I've just been indicated that for some reasons he should stay, but I can explain this. When these issues of the guns started between General IVO and the other people and Commando, I called Commando who had issues. He had a shock in, I put a shock in quote, in Nigeria. And so Commando accepted, and I got to Walter Skeyaka, who is of the ADF, that these things will be refunded to you guys. And we're talking behind the scenes. But before I know it, Commando is still in Nigeria. Before I know it, they have gone and attacked his boys in Guzang, killed those boys. And I want to tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, that it is a pity. It is a pity that we still have this kind of people in our midst. Bo Herbert, it is time you repent it. It is about time you repent it. We want to tell all these leaders that we, the people of Southern Cameroons, we have had enough from them. We have had enough of our boys being killed. We have had enough of them being compromised and selling out information to the government of Mr. Paul Biya. I'm done with you, Bo Herbert, but I want to let you know that you cannot be against the IG, that you are supposed to help in promoting unity amongst all the fronts. I mean, so Sissoko has cried. Today you come and make an audio and to show how unrepentant, how biased, how corrupt, how racist you are. You still went in there and you're saying that the Batibe cartel in an audio that you are calling for unity. As you already know that you are above Nyamfuka. You are Njanja Moto of the year. I want to tell you that you have no particular role that you play in this revolution. You don't contribute money. You don't own any foot soldier. You cannot talk for people to boycott Ghost Town. So what is your use? You are supposed to only be a unifying figure, but you deny to be a unifying figure. You are basically almost useless, redundant, and you say, oh, because I cannot be in a position of strategic, a strategic position, that I should destroy the revolution. Bo Herbert, I have told you, and I'm still going to tell you, if you want to come and bring us out to talk as a family, come and start apologizing to the Ambazonian people. Tell them you're sorry for the evil program that you created called Ambazonia Calling, that you are using to destroy our revolution, and you come as a hypocrite that you are. You have come now, you are trying to claim that you care about unity. You Jezebel, Bo Herbert. God will punish you people for allowing these young boys to die in their numbers. But Mark Barita has told you people that none of you, if Paul Biya did not succeed in breaking our resolve, none of you is going to succeed. I leave you to God and to the gods of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, Southern Cameroons. I leave you to them, and we will see what will happen to all of you who are trying to destroy this revolution. The earlier you come out, you repent, you apologize, and recognize the fact that you cannot do this thing by yourself, and that we can work as a team, and we can recognize the larger group, like you call it, the group that is recognized by the largest population. Then we'll move from there. With that said, I come to you, Dr. Akwanga, Ebenezer Akwanga. You are the next person. You see, I want to tell you something, that if you put AYABA and Akwanga, I would prefer to choose AYABA, or I stay in the middle. I cannot choose Akwanga. Akwanga is one of the worst hypocrites that we have in this revolution. He's the worst person, because he calls himself Papa Africa. Let me tell you something. We have come this far, not because of these people that you hear I'm calling their names, because the boys on the ground decided that they will fight. IVO left his job in Kolofata, in Lameni. He moved from the far north and came to the southern zones, the northern zone and the southern zone to fight. In the beginning, the guy was good, but he was corrupted. And that's why I tell you guys that IVO is a great guy. If we didn't have this thing, all these leaders fighting here would have gone to Boya long ago. But I hope that Guzan and now will change the face of this revolution. All of you who are watching me, do not be discouraged. Only today before I came on live show, one of our brothers called me. He said he wants to send something to General Nambere because I said something about General Nambere on my show. He pledged, I'm announcing this so that Kingsley Ebong of Kupe Maninguba should listen to it. He said he was going to send $500 or euro. I don't know what he's sending, but he said 500 something. And he has not sent, but I just want to let him know that I'm announcing. And for all of you who don't know, there are people who want to sacrifice their hard-earned money for us to win. With that said, I moved back to Akwanga. I called Akwanga because it's good that I would not have said it on live if he didn't say something about it in his live show, last live show. I called Akwanga. I said, Doctor, what do you think if the IG will propose you the military spokesman or Minister of Defense? Do you know what Akwanga told me? He refused. That he cannot be anything. That he doesn't want to have anything to do with the IG. Akwanga said, what is the IG? Who is the president? You make very egocentric. The issue with the AYABA says his own in public. Akwanga hides behind the IG. He doesn't recognize the IG. We argued and he switched off the phone. Akwanga said he doesn't recognize the IG. The IG is nothing. The IG is this. Okay, he said we cannot be having president in time of war. And I asked Akwanga one question. You don't recognize the IG because they have a president in time of war? Oh, no. He said we cannot have a president, we don't have a country. Look at how hypocritical somebody is. He calls himself Papa Ambazonia. Then he says we don't have a country. You can imagine, because of ego. Akwanga said, oh no, we don't have a country, so we cannot have a president. I asked him that, Dr. Akwanga, who are you? He said he's CIC, that's Commander-in-Chief. I want all of us, don't bother to Google. I'll Google on your behalf. I Googled, we're on phone. I Googled the meaning of CIC, because the meaning of CIC, I told him then that the key word that defines the meaning of CIC means Commander-in-Chief. And a Commander-in-Chief, by lexical and intrinsic definition, has a keyword called country. There's a keyword called country. You cannot be a Commander-in-Chief without a country. Listen very attentively. The meaning of Commander-in-Chief. This is the meaning of Commander-in-Chief. This is Google. It says, a head of the state or officer in supreme command of a country's armed forces. This is it. If you Google after this show, you see the meaning of CIC. I want us to put these leaders to their seats today. It means that, I say so, you deny the IG because they have a president, but you call yourself CIC. Do you know the meaning of a CIC? The immediate synonym of a CIC, is indeed what they call a president. It's indeed what they call the president. They are trying to interrupt my show anyway. It's what we call the president. Let me be very clear with all of you. You see, you cannot deny that you don't recognize the IG. And then you move to go and raise funds with Dr. Sako. Let me be clear with all of you. I will not make any comment on what Cry Out TV said about Dr. Akwanga because I'm not concluding my investigation on that. I will not make any statement on it. Whatever Cry Out TV said, we are working on it. But I want Dr. Akwanga, AYABA and the rest to know one thing. And I want to urge Dr. Akwanga. I don't want to say if he is right or wrong about what happened with the priests. But what I can only say is that he should take as responsibility to refund the money that he took from the priest. We don't do kidnapping on ransoms. We can arrest, yes, we can arrest even a pope, even a bishop in time of war. We can do that. I can support and endorse that arrest. But we cannot torture them when we arrest them. Let me be clear with you. You arrest them, yes, accepted. But do you have the right to torture them? That is the problem. So we want all these leaders to know, and all of you grand fighters who are watching me at this level, at this moment, to know one thing, that your lives and your hands, not this keyboard psychics who stay abroad and they try to control you. Let me be clear with all of you. I want to move from Akwanga and tell him that he needs to have a rethink. He doesn't own Ambazonia. He will never, ever own Ambazonia. And earlier, all of them, they know that they can actually come together and push this thing to the end, the better. The thing that is killing us is groups, like we have all seen. I want to move from Akwanga to Chris Anu. I have talked to some members of the IG that Chris Anu needs serious restructuring in his outing, or he needs a technical leave, or probably even a sack. I'm not going to mince my word. There is no, I don't want to say that I support anybody. One of the reasons why the IG is messy is because Chris Anu thinks that he controls the IG. For those of you who don't know, the IG is our government, and Chris Anu must respect what he comes and what he comes to say. Let me tell you something. Chris Anu undoubtedly is a strong voice, he's a fighter, he's vocal, he's fit for the position, but he must, as a matter of fact, be contained. He must go out. Chuma or Budget cannot just go and be saying things that, because he wants to say it. Chris Anu cannot imagine Dr. Sako will be coming live to say the same thing. Chris Anu comes again and says something. We have seen circumstances where Chris Anu has said things different from what Dr. Sako has said on same day, different live shows. Chris Anu is not undoubtedly is good, but he should be restructured. He should be cautioned, and he should know that this is war, and we will not tolerate any such kind of nonsense that will come out from them. Let me be clear with all of you. Chris Anu is good. He's good in that position. Nobody is fighting communication officer with him. It will never happen. None of us, no activist is thinking of it. But let me be clear with you people that you accept with me that Chris Anu has made many mistakes that is almost costing the reputation of the interim government. And the IG must tell Chris that his communication officer, he is not a member of staff in that capacity that he's going to take decision on behalf of the Amazonian people. Chris Anu should only come out to talk, to say the things that the president and his cabinet they have decided. The things that they have said that, okay, this is what we want to go in the public, want it to go to the public. 99% of the time, Chris Anu will come out and say things that they have not consulted. And everybody in the IG will be confused that, no, we didn't say this. I have screenshots from members of the IG who have condemned Chris on the fact that he takes it. It is not his private property. It is not his private property. And for those of you who are in the IG who don't want to speak the truth, that is not my business. What I'm telling you, I'm not afraid of nobody. Today is a day of reckoning. And we must. Listen, I have said 3 things: that Chris should be restructured. He should be actually contained, given a technical leave, or be sacked. So they will choose which one to do. Because you cannot have a communication officer. Okay, look at what happened in Bamenda in the Northwest. When one of the army generals came and said that they are burning Ambazonian houses, because they are burning houses of civilians because they are scared that the population is keeping Ambazonian fighters. What happened? They sacked him the very day. The very next day he was sacked. Because you cannot come and say anything that is contrary to the aspiration of the people. Chris Anu is my man. I love him more than most of you because he's a strong fighter. He has a strong voice, but he must be contained. Imagine Chris Anu came out and said that when Cry Out TV just published something, Chris came and said AYABA Akwanga must be investigated. No. Who are you? In what capacity? I can say that Akwanga should be investigated. Mark Barita can say it. Kemi Ashu can say it. Ashu can say it because we are activists. You are talking on behalf of a government. You can, if we agree that TAPANG IVO is destroying the revolution through the ADF, we should also agree that what Chris says is the responsibility of the IG. So, don't come, we love Chris Anu. But it doesn't mean that when he does those things that are wrong, we should not tell him. No. Chris Anu must know that he must contain himself. He works for the IG. He doesn't work for himself. Now, there are major decisions that should be taken by January 5th. One of those decisions is to see how the 2 TV stations, the SCBC and the Amber TV or whatever, they should look at exactly what should be done. They have manipulated us until we have come now. We have 2 TV stations paying bills that we're not supposed to pay. I'm going to leave it there with Chris Anu. Now, let me go to activists. You look at what happened. When we went to the Senate the other day, we were there with my brother Armstrong and my other brother Ramson here. I will not call their full names. When all of us with some Ambazonians, I spoke in the Senate. The same way that Kawala and the others were speaking. I have the video here. I can check the video. I spoke there in one of the briefings. And we posted pictures. I'm coming. And we posted pictures of the work that we did in the Senate. And we saw everything that happened. Yesterday, Comrade Atta Milan was there with Kawalak and Dr. Fontem and the rest. They were talking in the Senate, and I was surprised. This is what happened. One of my Akwaya brothers, who is in Canada, he calls himself an activist. An activist that is not known by Paul Biya. Paul Biya doesn't care if he exists. He took it, and then he twisted it, saying that, I want to play this. This is the same Senate that was doing presentation. I've never posted it because it's not important. I'm not fighting for myself. That was in the US Senate. I have it here. It's not on Facebook. Okay, that's the Senate. We went there before the Kawalaks, the Fontem, the Milans, and the rest. Because our interest is not to show ourselves that we are doing this, we are doing that. I've kept the video for my personal use. I didn't put it on social media. Even when I came from Chicago, the Chicago Post gave me an award. It's still there. I can post it in a later date, probably later. Then our brother who is in Canada, an Akwaya man who looks very confused. I don't know if that is an activist. He behaves like an imbecile. I have said it, and I'm going to say it here, that this is the day of reckoning. He took that video of the Kawalaks and the rest, he put it on social media and was saying that the IG is here, the Sako, they live here, they cannot go to the Senate. He was insulting the IG. That's an activist. Then I asked one of my friends that guy is in Canada. Is it in the whole world, for all the countries that we have Ambazonians in almost every country, is it only the United States that has a Senate, or that has parliament, or Senate, or parliamentarians, or senators? Canada has senators. When Bala came there, that same activist who is making noise, when Bala came there, did he go to even cover Bala? Did he go there? Did you have top members of the AGC that are in Canada? Did they go there? Have they ever gone to the Senate? Even Dr. AYABA, who lives in Norway, hasn't Norway is a parliament? Have they gone there? Let me tell you something. I want to be very clear with all of you that the only time that Bo Herbert is trying to claim is for us to ensure that we come together as a team. You, as an activist, in the other activism forum, I'll call the name of this other man, this other guy, they call him CAPO Daniel. He came, Ashu Kingsley, Atanga Achiri, Mark Barita, Akosin Raymond, all other activists, they have seen it very clearly. I said it in that group. CAPO said that we should do a joint statement to educate people against Cry Out TV because they wrote about against Comrade Akwanga. And I said to CAPO that you are a madman because Cry Out TV is 2 billion times better than you. Cry Out TV publishes things based on facts. Now, you are saying that we should condemn him, whereas you are the person that is manufacturing all sorts of lies and doing collages here and there against the IG. My people, I want to be clear with all of you. I want to be very clear. And now, I'm going to end this show with the one man, Comrade AYABA. Comrade AYABA, I want to let you know one thing. I want to say this to you in clear terms. Comrade AYABA, as for your partner in crime, TAPANG IVO, he's not even deserving of the sympathy of Ambazonians. You people have connived. I don't know what's going on, but I think we're okay now. TAPANG IVO would write that they are going to wipe up everybody in Boyo, and some of you were clapping. That's a man who doesn't know his left from his right, and he has helped to quickly disintegrate the revolution and destroy the AGC. I want to be clear with all of you. Comrade Cho, I'm addressing myself to you. And I want you to get this as a point. I don't know how you're going to do it. In your next live show, if you are going to kneel down to beg the Pope of Ambazonia, if you are going to explain to us how you've been compromised, you need to do that urgently. But as it stands, you are not an Ambazonian. All of you AGCists, you can hate me, you can say all sort of things, but this is where I want to end this live show. To tell all these leaders that we don't have infightings. Like I've said, and I'm going to be very clear about it, that we simply have people who are indeed working for the government of Mr. Probia. We have all these people who think that because they have been in this revolution before everybody, then nothing should happen without them. A lot of people would want to imagine that, why do I want to end the show with Comrade Cho? General IVO is gone, and he can never be replaced. Cho Ayaba, we have cried to you. It's not because you are the most important person. It's just because we consider you as a stakeholder in the revolution. But what did you do? You turn your back. You always become manipulative. And some people who are around you, who think that probably they can coach you to be against the people. You must have seen from your last post that even though you have restricted the number of commentators, but everybody who commented under your post, the same people who have been commenting positively about you, what did they do? They became so furious and have expressed their minds. I want all of us to consider Cho Ayaba as a persona non grata in the revolution. I don't have any issue with Dr. Cho, if at all he's a doctor, but I have an issue with his attitude. And I want all Ambazonians to remember one thing. Today, put it in your mind that no infighting exists amongst us. You go to areas like Banye Panya, Mato, and other places. I have sent audios to Comrade Cho Ayaba. I have sent audios rather to Comrade Akwanga, where people are lamenting on the ground, areas where the command, they are arresting people, tormenting our people, but they will not say anything. So they want the revolution to be weakened, so that they can indeed say that, okay, we have succeeded. If Seseko will be the one to be recognized, it's better that we should destroy the revolution. I want all of you to know one thing, that Guzang and now should tell you that you have to concentrate and put your finances. There are a lot of fighters. Yesterday I was on a conference call with Joshua Carr, Ashu Kingsley, Achiri Atanga, and we're talking with some fighters from somewhere that are already there, ready to take action. The boys are ready. They want to defend homeland. They want to defend their mothers, their fathers. They want to defend till we get to Boya. But we have had people, leaders, so-called leaders, who have put their egos above our people, who have been compromised. I was talking with Waters Keyaka today, and I told him, like you have listened, Ivo was a former soldier of La Republique who came to join his people to fight, like many other soldiers have cross-carpeted. Now today, we're in a position where we have the right to decide. We have already proposed to Dr. Sako, both privately and up and on these live shows, that the IG should be restructured. The likes of Honorable Weber should be brought in. Dr. Makongo, or to some people when I said we were campaigning Dr. Makongo for president. When people told me that, oh, proposal they should sack Dr. Sako, this should go out, I told them that no. They don't change a leader that way in the course of a revolution. We need everybody to come under that umbrella without losing their individual identities, but fighting for Ambazonia. Let me be clear with all of you. I am probably not very concerned about who exactly is going to be in which particular position when the IG is finally restructured. I am very concerned about who exactly should be in positions of strategic importance, finance, and defense. So these are things that we must put in our heads. And Dr. Sako should act fast and take his original position as the acting president of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, Southern Cameroons. This is a time that we must all act. As for those of you who have for once been discouraged to contribute in this movement, this is the time. Like I heard my people in Ohio who will be watching me at this time. Let me just seize the opportunity. I've gathered information that Dr. Sako will be in Ohio tomorrow, Saturday. I want to just get this real quick before I conclude on this, so that I don't forget it. We have information that tomorrow from 9 p.m. to 4 a.m., Dr. Sako will be in a fundraiser in Ohio. Now, this is the information I have for the Ohio people. They said the venue is 1212 Dublin. That is in Granville Road, Columbus, Ohio. And the zip code, of course, is 43229. Now, it is not only about going to raise funds. It is about making sure that this money is accounted for. So while we support that you go to raise funds to assist refugees or whatever, but let the Ambazonian people know how much has come in and what is going out and what is going in. Without said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end this show to say that we have said a lot of things in this one live show. And it is left for these leaders to think. I didn't talk about John Baku because he's not a leader. Nobody appointed him to be part of the consortium. I can talk about Mr. Evis Kometa, because that's another very strong person. We are talking about the 5th January stop for Siseko. And of course, January stop for Siseko, and Comrade Evis Kometa is the one that has gone and secured us a space for us to have this protest in DC. And so it is very important. What's going on? I think we are okay. So he has gone and secured us a space for us to be at the protest in DC. And as we are live now, we're trying to explain to all of you to understand. And for those of you who don't know, let me be clear with you that this revolution is above everybody. So I cannot continue any further because I don't want a lot of us to think that we're just trying to say some things that are not supposed to be said. We are clear on all the facts that we have mentioned, and to let the Ambazonian people understand one particular thing. We have people who have been compromised, and we expect them at this juncture to come out and speak the truth, say the truth. And like I said, I don't consider John Baku any kind of leader because he's not one. And for all of us, come January 5, 2019, to rally behind our leaders, to rally behind our IG, and for everybody to come under that umbrella and for us to forget about groups. The reason why we have IVO dying here, Amigo dying there, I don't want to say things that will be outraged because we are talking about a man's life, is because everybody thinks only about groups. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to end here. Don't forget, 5th January is AYABA Day, and in the days ahead, we are going to announce for everybody to understand what exactly is going on. I think at this juncture, we're going to end the live show and to thank you all very much for your participation and to let you know that we're trying to put comprehensive information on how people will contribute their money as far as the celebration of 5th January is concerned. We're going to announce details on this, and those of you watching on YouTube, we want to thank you all very much and to let people know that so far, from the last time that we announced about the The contribution for Seseko's Day, we have not emphasized, but we're going to emphasize. We still have it on our Cash App. We have, okay, we've seen $20 has added. We have $120 is there. So we have all the information. And so we urge everybody who is watching at this time, the Cash App number remains the same. It's 202-390-2247. We're going to assist to ensure that this day is indeed a wonderful day for our leaders in jail. And let's also ask the IG and other groups, to the IG, our government, and other frontline groups that care, to assist in ensuring that General IVO has a befitting burial and that his family is well taken care of. In the meantime, we are going to make huge contributions to ensure that we raise enough funds to assist our leaders in jail come this 5th January. Meanwhile, Comrade Evis Cometa has already secured space for us all to come together at the White House to protest on behalf of our leaders. And this 5th January has been dubbed the Seseko Jilos Ayoktabe and Co. Day of Justice. And we expect that it should be for all the leaders and everybody, all Ambazonians in various capitals, in various countries in the world. So those of you who are elsewhere in the United States, this is a time for you to start coming down to ensure that you come and get everybody. Those of you in France, go to Paris. Those of you in America, come to Washington, D.C. Those of you in UK, go to London. So that's going to be it. God bless you. We'll have time to talk more important things in the days ahead. And as things will be unraveling, we'll come out to explain to you people. Thank you all once more. And the people of Ohio, you are in my prayers. And we pray that whatever amount of money you're going to raise in the gala today, show it to the Ambazonian people and tell us how that money is going to be used. That money is for Ambazonia, it's not for any one individual. God bless you and have a nice day. Bye-bye.